Quick letter I, come back, Mississippi pride.
You see, I'm trying to
what's
set the
up?
tone for us, honey. I'm trying to set it, okay?
How are you?
Nicco?
I am wonderful. How you feeling on this beautiful Monday?
Look, my day's gotten even better seeing your beautiful face. So,
all right, I received that. I
can't
that.
complain. I cannot complain. Nicco, we are so
I won't complain. Yeah.
Amen. Amen. Nicco, we are so excited to have you today to talk to you. I mean, people have been in my DMs. They've been like, asking this, asking that. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time. I know you're busy, so thank you for taking the time.
You are very, very welcome. Listen, I'm never too busy for my people. Never too busy for my people. You remember that song?
I love you. That's why I love you. That's why I love you, though. That's why I love you. So, Nicco, okay, I first want to jump into this with, okay, so, you know, we are, I believe, 36 days or 35 days away from, like, the biggest election in our history, in our time, or in a long time, right? And, you know, we're getting ready.
Wait, Ashley, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Something's wrong. You're freezing on me. You're freezing on me, baby girl. Yeah, I want to be able to see you and be with you 100%. I don't want. There you go. All right.
Okay.
Boom. 35 days, biggest election. Go ahead.
Yes, 35 days, biggest election coming up. Tomorrow's the debate. And so I have to ask you, have you seen this video circulating around the internet, Instagram, Twitter, with, I believe they're from Atlanta, pole dancers or strippers from Atlanta urging people to get their butts to the pole? Have you seen this video?
I have.
Are they from the Pink?
Have.
Are these your girls?
You know, I do not know these women personally, but I applaud them. It's interesting because I first saw the video and I was like, I'm going to repost this. And I said, let them get their shine first, because I feel like it's so much, I think it's so eye-opening for people to see how people are engaging in this process in the election, but also in just being vocal, right? And then there's always this wave that people are coming with that judgmental eye or the squint. And I'm like, but when you listen to these women talk, you cannot refute anything that they are saying. That's what's most important. You know what I mean? Y'all, they could be from the Pink. Let me say that. I don't know the women. We didn't work together on the show, but they could be from the Pink, because those are some women that know what they got to say and they saying it, you know? So yeah.
Definitely. They could have definitely graduated. You could have graduated them.
I could have graduated. Look, you got it.
Boo, I'm here. Okay, look, I'm here. Okay, so I wanted to ask you about that. And then, so Nicco, you're from Detroit. At what point when you're growing up do you get an urge or this feeling or desire to want to tap into theater, choreography, acting? At what point is this something that you desire, that you want to do?
It was something from childhood. I really can't remember a time when I was not. My mother would tell you that the first like performance situation that I had was when I was at what was it, Second Baptist preschool or something like that. You know, it was downtown Detroit, and doing, you know, the Pledge of Allegiance. And speaking of voting, but I always was in get your booty to the pole, get your booty to the pole. But I was always like that kid that wanted to perform. I looked up to Gene Anthony Ray, who played Leroy on Fame back in the day, with the original with Debbie Allen. So like my world was just about expression. And you know, once I got into, I asked my mother I wanted to be, what's her name? Tempest Bledsoe, Vanessa's boyfriend. I wanted to be Vanessa's boyfriend on the Cosby Show. And I had asked my mom, I was like, Mom, I gotta be Vanessa's boyfriend on the Cosby Show. And she was like, boy, I don't know how to do that, but you can go to dance class. My girl Diane is starting a dance school from Blue Cross and Blue Shield. She's starting her dance class on the side, so you could go there. So I went there, and once I got into my tap class, that was all she wrote. You know, I was just always dancing and singing around the house.
And then, so you have gone on to appear in several projects, including Shameless, Claws, and I Loved You, and This Is Us. You even choreographed that performance on the show. Yeah. I have to ask you, Nicco, because and we're going to get into P-Valley and talk all about that. What struggles did you face? Because this is such an unorthodox, unconventional career path, right? Being an actor, being a choreographer, and being Black at that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what struggles did you face in your journey to becoming where you are today?
Oh, I think you go through a lot of struggles. The struggles of, first and foremost, how you define yourself. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Fitting into other people's boxes. It's so interesting now. I'm a grown ass man, you know, and it was just, I'm like, but when I was a little black boy, I had issues, or I, what do you call it? Struggled. There you
Yes.
go. With, you know, with colorism, with being dark skinned, with having full lips, with my gap. And I was teased for all of those things. And my mama always said, "Don't you worry, baby. When you grow up, somebody gonna love you being tall, dark, and handsome." And I was just like, whatever.
Right. Right.
You know. But now, I can honestly say that's been a part of like my owning all of who I am. You know, is having gone through those struggles, and the people that used to call me bubblicious and all those things. I'm like, where they at now?
They in the
Where they at
DMs
now?
now. They in the DMs now.
Holla, holla, holla.
Oh, so Nicco, what advice would you give to those who are watching who, you know, they struggled with having the bubblicious lips or the skin colorism thing, or they just don't know how to navigate in such a career path that isn't really laid out for them, or there is no rule book, right? It's just, what advice would you give to those who are watching that want to pursue a career in acting as you have and be successful?
You better go ahead and unpack it and be specific with it, because that's what you just did. So,
You better.
so I would say honestly, what would I say? I would say listen. First, listen, and I say listen to what God has told you, because what people are saying, what you see, is not always the path. I think that there is always something that's on the inside. I think that with this business of acting and choreography, dance, music, the whole entertainment industry, that you have so many people that will try to define you, that will try to encapsulate you into one space. And that doesn't have to be. I do say, however, there is strength and there's focus in concentrating your learning and your training on one thing at a time. But that doesn't mean that you can only be one thing. Because I started off dancing, and then that led to improv, and then improv led to acting, and acting, I had to choose between acting and dance. What am I going to do? And actually, real talk, I got to a point when I was in high school. You know, I've always been a thick guy. And so I had this conversation with my dance teacher, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I want to be an Alvin Ailey, and I want to be in Complexions and a contemporary dancer. And so she was like, well, you know, Nicco, there's some things that you're going to have to work on, you know. And I was like, okay, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward the story, I did those things. I wasn't happy. And I saw this dance troupe that came to my high school. They were a hearing impaired dance troupe. And I was just amazed by the fact that they were all moving in unison. There was Black people, there was Latin people, there were white people. It was a whole bunch of things that were going on there. And I said, well, how are they staying on beat? And they said they feel the vibrations from the subwoofers and stuff. And I just thought that was so magical. And I always said to myself, that was one of the defining moments for me, that I said, well, God forbid, if anything were to ever happen to me physically, I would still be able to tell story. So I wanted to go and train how to do that. So that's how I ended up in acting school at the conservatory at Purchase. And I've been studying and training how to tell stories from a long time now.
And honey, you're telling the story now. You're telling the story down in the South, and Mississippi Delta at the Pink.
Yeah.
Nicco, I just want to get into all of this with P-Valley. This show, I just have to say, when I first saw it, I was like, I don't know if I'm watching that. I don't know if I'm watching it.
Now, why did you say that? Let me ask you why you said that, though.
Because I saw people saying it was like, what's the one from the movie? The Players Club. And so I was like, I don't know. Nicco, the first few minutes of the first episode, I like was stuck. So every week I'm like tuning in. I'm telling my people, look, have y'all watched P-Valley? My mama told me, what is P-Valley? I said, girl, well, don't you worry about it. But let me go on to my sisters, my friends. I mean, I absolutely love this show because it's not what you think. It's not at all what you would think.
So are you. You are not what people think. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not what people think.
Right.
We as Black people, we are so diverse. We are not a monolith. We are so like varied and just beautiful. So like you can't encapsulate us in one thing.
No.
You know,
No.
you think that calling somebody ratchet is an insult? That's beautiful. That's beautiful because my grandmama could be ratchet and my auntie is ratchet too with her black lipstick.
And I'm ratchet.
There you go. And classy too. And classy too. And beautiful. And bold. And creative. And cute. And cute. Come on. Come on.
Look, you are right. And I mean, that's why you can't judge a book by its cover, right? I mean,
Correct.
Prime example of you have to give it a shot. You have to give it a chance. And I'm stuck. I'm like, look.
I'm glad you gave it a chance.
Can I be on the show doing something? I need to be on there doing something.
But everybody, y'all, you sound like half the people in the DMs that's talking about that. But I say like, well, what do you do? What do you do? And some girls be like, well, you know, I dance. I said, well, okay. Again, what kind of dance? And now if we had the third correspondence and you haven't been specific with what your want or your need is, then you haven't really heard a word. You just talking just to be talking. You are not really trying to jump and be ready for the opportunity, because those that's ready for the opportunity are actually going to step up and be ready and say, boom, I got your twerk town, I got your pole work, I got your bottle service, I got your song, I got your rap, I got your acting. What you ready to do?
I got your news girl. Look, I can report from the street at the news, and I'm from the South too, so I have the accent. Look, let's move on. Okay, Tori, I'm putting in my
She put in her bid for the Chuckalisa News. Shoot your shot for the Chuckalisa News. I love it. I love us.
So Nicco, would you say this is your breakout role? Would you say that, or what do you feel? Is it your? Okay.
Oh yeah, I am not shy about the road that it took me to get here. Because listen, if it took the Israelites 40 years, I'm saying it took me a little bit too. You understand what I mean? I think that the journey is a part of the gift. Honestly, you know, I started with this play when it was 4 pages back in 2009, y'all.
Yes.
Like 2009, we were literally just in Katori's apartment in the middle of Manhattan. It was just a bunch of Black creatives, you know, some writers and poets. They were like spitting ideas, and they wanted actors to come through to like kind of lay their hands on to breathe life into their words. And it started there. It was a referral. I met Katori through a referral.
I mean, talk about a referral and networking and connecting. Don't turn down no opportunities to go connect with your people, because you just never know.
And connect across. You don't always have to think about the thing. Issa Rae said that, and I've been loving that ever since. You got to connect across. It does not always start, well, let me reach out to John Singleton. When I worked on Snowfall with John Singleton, he said to me, first day of rehearsal, he was like, yo, I've been seeing you. Actually, it wasn't rehearsal, it was a table read. And he was like, I've been seeing you. I was like, you ain't been seeing me, John. I don't know what you said. He's like, yeah, I saw you. You know, you was at that underground red carpet. You had on a bright-ass green suit. I couldn't miss your big ass. That's what he said. He was watching. But guess what? I was ready while he was watching. I wasn't concerned while he was watching. I was just living my life. So I just say to everybody else, just keep doing your purpose. Keep doing what's been planted inside of you. And then, you know, it'll connect with other people when it's meant to be.
Wow. So like you said, you started the play and you've been cultivating Uncle Clifford, you know, over 11 years, since 2009. But you still had to audition for this role. Talk to us about how you approached the audition for the series versus the play. Like, were they different? Talk to us about that process.
The material was different because the play, the script from the play is literally just the genesis for the series. And in the play, there's real live pole dancing that happens. So you feel like you are in the pink. When I was, first of all, I was happy when, well, happy is the word. I don't want to say I was happy, but I didn't have a problem auditioning. Right. You know, I looked at it in a couple of ways. First, I was like, well, if I'm blessed to be able to see material and to see the tides changing in the way that Black people, the way that queer people, and the intersect between the LGBTQ community, specifically in the Southern community and the Black Southern community, connecting with the heterosexual community in the Black South. I was like, if I have the luxury as an artist to be in that world, to see what this is like, who am I to stifle anyone else from having that experience? That's not my job. That's not my place. You know, I didn't feel that. So I was happy for everybody to get out there and see. I also, I'm not a child, and I'm not new to the game. So I knew that, exactly. So I knew that they would be looking for possibly, like, you know, names and different things like that. But that didn't faze me, because I knew Uncle Clifford's skin. You know, I based Uncle Clifford in the writing and the story is based off of 3 living ancestors in Tori Hall's life. And I infused that with my vision and the things that I was seeing in the world on social media. So I wanted to bring some humanity to the face. I wanted to bring some truth and some heart to it. And the first thing, short answer, is I went shopping. That's how I got into the audition process. Yeah, I went shopping, and I would go to Marshall's and Ross and TJ Maxx and just go to all the different, you laughing, but I'm dead ass. I went to all of these places and shopped. I started to shop for Uncle Clifford's wardrobe and what she would wear, and I would clock how people were looking at me, to taking in that audacity, the offense, the congratulations, I like those shoes on you. I took all of that in. I was doing the process. So one, I was looking at, what am I going to wear for the audition? Because I don't have any heels in my closet. Right. Two, I did something real smart. When we did the play, I had bought from the costume designer. At the end of the show, you usually can say, like, oh, I like this. I like this. Can I have this? What's the discount price or whatever? And so I had purchased 3 of my outfits from the play. Yeah, I didn't wind up wearing. I wore the one shirt for my first initial call for the show. But you know, so I just did it like that, and I just thought about the intimacy of it, without taking you into a whole actor's studio version of it. But I just
no, that's just so interesting, because that was one of the draws too, was Uncle Clifford's wardrobe. I mean, she was. I have questions about her wardrobe too, because she killed the game. I mean, the wardrobe, the hair, the glam, off the chain.
Thank you. There's a beautiful team behind that.
Speaking of the audition, Nicco, you know, recently I saw, again, circulating on the internet, the Instagram, K. Michelle had put out a video, and I believe it was Big Frida put out a video, and they also were saying that they were in the running, you know, to be on the show. And, you know, Frida said that she was possibly going to be playing your role. What did you think about the news of hearing that? Did you know that prior to hearing it, or?
First of all, I was with K. Michelle at her first audition.
What?
I was with K. Michelle. Absolutely.
So were you helping her?
I guess helped her. I was helping her like any other actor would that's being present. You know what I mean? Real talk, I was working at a hotel before I got this job. You know, I was working overnight at a hotel, and actually K. Michelle was staying at my hotel. So I saw her. So I was I was working overnight, so I was the front desk supervisor and auditor. And so she would see me when she came in at night and things like that. But at the audition, she didn't know it was me. She didn't realize it was me, because I came in my audition with the braid wig that you see in episode 3. Yes. You know, that was my audition look. I had my braided wig, and it said like "bad bitch" all up in the braids. It was everything. Right. It was everything. Because I wanted to, for me, different than theater. In theater, people want you to become. They want to see your process of transformation. In film and television, it wasn't about that. There was no time to use your imagination. So I just want you to be brought in. So I came in wardrobe and stuff like that. So she didn't necessarily remember me, but I told her and I spoke to her and I was like, you got it. I gave her a good Uncle Clifford moment. You know what I mean? And she went in, she did her thing. I mean, I didn't see any of Big Frida's tapes or anything like that, but in my mind, I thought it was a hypothesis that the networks or Hollywood would try to go after big names, you
Right.
know. But that doesn't, again, that doesn't phase me. That doesn't hurt me. That doesn't make me feel any kind of way, because I believe everybody deserves the opportunity
Yeah.
to shine. And K Michelle is from Memphis. You know, Big Frida is down in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't they want to be a part of a world that
Right.
is elevating and showcasing the South in such a way? There is room for everybody. All I know is that in P-Valley, it's a highly constructed world, where it's a world where Black love is possible, where it's so much empowerment is there. So it's not, it may feel like to some like a reality show because the people feel real. That's the
Mm-hmm.
compliment. That's the
Yeah.
compliment. That it feels like your cousin, that it feels like your auntie, it feels like your uncle and them,
It's
you
like
know.
me.
Yeah, come on,
Like
come
me.
on.
I mean, thank you for breaking that down. And I love,
Yeah.
again, that's a testament to you and your spirit, though, right? Because some people would be, you know, wanting to be messy, wanting to be shady, and you never did post anything negative or shady in regards to that. And I
No.
saw people was trying to stir up some stuff, but I just wanted to know, just, you know, just off the strength, did you know, or, you know, what did you think of the news? But thank you for sharing that.
You got it. You got the buzz. You got the buzz.
Hey. So, Nicco, to prepare for this role, you spoke with non-binary queer people to gather
Our
as much
friends.
insight, right? To gather as much insight as you could, right? What
Yeah.
did you learn from your research?
I learned that everybody's journey is not too similar. You know, people try to make things so different, and make things such, what do you call it, a federal case, when
Yeah,
sometimes it's just, there are minor differences. There are minor differences, you know.
right.
Love is love. And I think that people kind of got tripped up in that. And they realized, it was like, oh, I'm seeing two bodies, I'm seeing two spirits, I'm seeing just two energies, and not necessarily, you know, judging it. That's like when somebody sees a really full figured person and someone that's really, really thin. They look like they're
Mm-hmm.
opposites. And they be like, but how he get with her? Or why is she? You never know why somebody is with somebody. It is really, especially when it's about the spirit, when it's about the person, how you treat me, how you talk to me, how you see me, how you love me.
That's it. That's it. And so you are a gay man who plays this non-binary queer
Who said that?
love owner,
Who
right?
said that? Who?
This is what Uncle Clifford is. How is this role, in your opinion, Nicco? How has this role or this character, how has Uncle Clifford, how has she broken down barriers and shattered gender norms in terms of representation for the LGBTQ plus community?
You better slow it down and get every letter up in here. Listen.
You better know. I look, honey, because yes, I am gonna slow it down and get it right. Yes.
Listen. I think that that's actually one of the things that make this role and this experience so beautiful and monumental. You
Mm-hmm.
know, because you are slowing down to say every letter. I literally think that this role is having an impact on people in terms of their consideration, their level of empathy for
Yes.
people. I was mostly, honestly concerned making sure that I represented the community authentically and 100%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, and experiencing this wave afterwards, to be honest, I'm over, I'm filled, I'm overflowed by mothers and the grandmothers that are reaching out, because there's so many different generations that are watching the show.
Yes.
And to be like, yo, getting a message from someone that's like in their 70s, and they have a whole Facebook group where they watch the show. And then this one mother, she had reached out to me and was talking about the show, and Uncle Clifford made her want to reach out to her son, who she said, I think my son might be like Uncle Clifford. That's what she said. I think my son might be like Uncle Clifford. I haven't spoken to him in 4 years.
Mm.
You make me want to reach out and call him. That's that's amazing. That's amazing. The fact that I just think that slowing down to say every letter
Yes.
gives the importance that we always, as a people, have not had when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to LGBTQ life, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of time where straight people, straight Black people have not been afforded the luxury of academic language to know what non-binary means, to know the term gender fluid. And I feel
Yeah.
like the show and many shows that are out here with our content, you know, whether that's a Pose, whether that's Lovecraft Country, there's so many creatives that are out here that I'm saluting, and I'm like, yo, my people, Lena Waithe, I'm my people, Kelly Stewart, like we doing things and changing the game in a whole other kind of way where you can see us in our authenticity and our grit and our shine.
I mean, I'm telling you. And you know what I noticed about Uncle Clifford that I love? Uncle Clifford is like my auntie. You know, like I want to come to Uncle Clifford and be like, okay, what do I do? help me with
Yes.
my, you know, and there is this feminine and masculine aspect at play, right? Because although you're feminine, right, in your wardrobe and your, you know, your pronouns, she and her, you also will get with somebody like, look, don't try me, don't play with me. Why was it important to show or bring out both of those aspects of her?
I think that every person has all of those aspects. Every single person, you know, I'm sitting here looking at you with your natural hair and your glowing spirit, right? But I know that you know how to pull that hair back and grease that face and and pop off some earrings real quick. Okay. I just think that, like, you know, what the concept behind Uncle Clifford, first of all, within what I gather from Katori's mind, because I'm not Katori, but from the years of being with the piece, it's about the notion of what would a person's life be like if they fully accept all of their femininity and all of their masculinity. What would life for them be like just to be? And I think that as Uncle Clifford, there are times when I acknowledge male privilege, and there's time when I acknowledge feminine power. You know, and sometimes people think that submission or femininity can be a weakness, but in actuality, it's a strength because women have instinct, and that instinct and spirit can move past that physical. So it's about playing with all of that, you know.
I totally love it. Now I have to ask you off topic really quick. I know I'm only supposed to have 30 minutes with you. Are we, do I need, we on 30 minutes.
You good. You good.
Okay. So I have just a few more questions for you.
You ain't got to rush. Take your time, Ashley. Don't you rush to get old. Hey.
I'm not rushing. Nicco,
Yes,
did you choreograph any of the dances? Did you help choreograph any of those?
In the show, in PValley?
Yeah.
Our choreographer is Jamaica Craft. Jamaica Craft is our choreographer, and she has a wonderful team of assistant choreographers, Izama, Simone. There's a lot. I didn't do any of the pole work. Now, all of Uncle Clifford's dancing, yeah, I did all that. Yeah, I did that. But Jamaica and Izama, they helped me with some of my pole work, you know, because I took some pole classes with the girls as well. It was a whole thing about, if you remember, what part of the South did you grow up in?
I grew up in Dallas. I'm from Dallas.
Okay, so did y'all have a basement?
Okay, we had a garage, but not a basement.
Okay, well, in the garage.
Upstairs.
Okay, well, we didn't have an attic in Detroit, but we had a basement and we had a garage too. And I say that because as a kid, you know how you used to go and like your cousins would come up with the routines in the basement or the skate party in the garage? That's the kind of concept that I was working with as Uncle Clifford, that, you know, I would be there trying to run the books or working with Big L in the back, and then the girls would be practicing their routines. So I would go to the pole classes and boot camp with the girls as they were actually training, so that I knew what the combinations were. I knew what the routines were for that theme night, whether it was Freaky Fridays or whether it was Mercedes Sundays, whatever the theme of the night was. And so once I learned that choreography, I just played around with that on the other part, because Uncle Clifford used to be a dancer, so.
Oh, it did, and yes, did.
Did, do, will, did, do, and will.
Okay, so Nicco,
yeah.
although the show is about, right, strippers and strip clubs, I feel
that's
that
what you think the show is about?
Well, I mean, I'm saying that's a part of it, but I feel like it humanizes and goes into these lives of the people that work at the club, right? So although, you know, you have the nights, murder night, you know, Mercedes night, you come outside of the club and you go into their personal lives. So you see what they're dealing with, which is, I think, very important to show that these people are, because people can be judgmental, right? People can say, you know, people judge strippers and say, well, they shouldn't be doing this or they shouldn't be doing that, but not knowing why, not knowing the backstory. And I think that this show really, you know, brings out the backstory. Yeah. Why do you think audiences have connected with the show so much? Like you said, the older people, the younger people, the Black people, the white people, the Asian people, everybody is connecting with this show. Why do you think that is?
And the foreign people, because it's big overseas too. You know, I think that there's a universality to this show and to this world of Chucalissa. I think that, I think one, in the construction of the script, the story, so many components and so many cultures are a part of it, whether it's the Vietnamese culture, whether it's the Mexican culture. I think that there's a way that Black people tend to see the world and see everybody in it, and not only just ourselves. So I think that people connect with it in that regard, because they're, so regardless of who you are, woman, young, old, gay, straight, there's something for you to grab a hold of too. And then I also think that just everybody has been through something, and this is a story about people who have made some choices, you know, whether that is Mercedes being in this club for whatever she went through with her mom in the past and trying to make her money for her daughter and to start her gym to get custody of her child, or if it's Diamond, who is coming back from the war and, you know, he needs a place to work, and maybe everything ain't as right upstairs as it used to be, and suppression of emotion, like, but this is a job for him to do. Big L says, where else can a brother go? They got 2 charges. Right. Everybody that's in this club is there for a reason, and it's a family, that friends and family aspect. When we say family, even Uncle Clifford, you know, you can be perceived as an outsider in the world, but to be able to stake your claim and to make your mark on this world, that's pretty much what any and everybody want to do, right? Regardless where you're from. So I think that's what people are connecting with.
And people are connecting so much so that Autumn Night saved the pink, and we got a season 2 pickup, right?
Yeah. Amen. So that's right. This show is about us.
I am so excited that you guys got a pickup. You guys deserve the pickup. Tell me, I know you can't tell me like the real, but what do you want to see? What does Uncle Clifford want to see happen in season 2? Like,
I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you.
Little Murder. What's going on with Little Murder? What do you want to see? What's going on with the club? What do you want to see?
I want to see, again, more connection with my girls that you will get to know more of coming season 2, like getting to know about Jupiter and how she got pregnant and her relationship with Yoli. I'm interested in seeing, what else am I interested in seeing? I'm interested to see how Lil Murder and Uncle Clifford gonna get back together. What's that gonna play out like, you know? Because Lord knows that. I just want to know, where did the mofo go after the gunshots?
I don't. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
You ain't checked on your boo. You trying to apologize and stuff. The gun, it's going down at the club, and you ain't came to check to see if your girl dead, died, shot, bleeding.
It was a funeral, but it was an option. Honey, I thought it was a funeral. I said, "Oh Lord, who done died?" And y'all.
You wasn't listening when I prayed. When Uncle Clifford gave that prayer, she said, "Tomorrow we going to a funeral for the paint."
Ooh.
So tonight we gonna stack that Skrilla.
Well, look, Skrilla was stacked.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Brown pork in the tie.
So... Girl, I love it. You better go ahead and preach this afternoon.
I am just like so excited, and before I let you go, because I know I'm probably gonna get in trouble because we went overtime. But you said we could go overtime. But
I did. Everyone who's out there listening, I said we could go overtime. I was okay. We are good. So we're getting the buzz here. Where's the Buzz TV? We getting the buzz.
And you know what else I want to see on the next season 2? I want to see a new reporter in Chucalissa.
The new reporter, somebody in the comments just said, gonna be talking about them drug dealers, them scammers, bitch.
Oh, honey, I agree. Nicco, let me ask you, did you improvise any of your lines, or was that all written? Was that all written for you, or did you improvise anything?
What do you think? What's your instinct tell you?
I say that was some of you.
Oh. No.
No? Everything was written? No. Oh, wow.
Everything was written.
The
writer's room hold us down.
Shout out to my Sarah Brandy. She killed it as Mercedes.
Yes, come on for the Deltas.
Yeah.
Crimson and cream, right? Yes.
Yes. I wore my pink for you today, though. I wore my pink. I said, let me put on some pink.
I think that is officially pink.
Pink. Okay.
Yes,
pink.
that's pink. That's pink.
Pink. Because that's how my granny said. Pink.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But so before I let you go, I want to do a rapid fire with you. So it's Ashley 5 and 5, and I just want to ask you a few questions. Describe yourself.
Wait. Okay. Before we go there, do I have you want the abridged version, the clean version, or the real version?
Real.
Okay, I'm just saying, because when people come with those rapid fires, I'll say the first thing that come in, and y'all be like, "Oh my God, we have to censor that," and I'm like, "Well, you shouldn't have it."
You we being real, right? We being us. Describe yourself in one word. One word.
I'm going to say blessed. I'm going to say blessed. That was not the B that came to my mind initially, but it was 2 words, and you said one, so I'm following directions. Blessed.
You are blessed. You definitely are blessed. I love your spirit. I just have to tell you again. What are you most proud of?
Oh, I'm most proud of, I know people want to say about like this show and stuff like that, but I'm most proud of my children. I used to teach, and I am a mentor. So I'm very proud of where they are in their lives and the things that they're doing. And I'm proud to say that I am still connected. I still feel connected to my roots. I still feel connected to the hunger and the drive of, I want to make it, and I'm going to be there. And that drive from young people helps to push me forward. It reminds me of where I was and just all of that.
New rule for the pink. What's the new rule?
Fuck these hoes before they try to fuck you. That is rule number 2. Rule number 2, if you download So Dangerous by Alan Scoop and Lil Bad Cousin, that is Uncle Clifford's new rule. Fuck these niggas before they try to fuck you. And that is the truth.
That's a word.
Yeah. And Little Bad Cousin is our showrunner. Little Bad Cousin is Katori.
Shout out to Katori for creating this too. Shout out to her. Salute to her. Detroit or Chucalissa?
I think there's some Detroit and Chucalissa, so I'm gonna say Chucalissa.
Okay.
Chucalissa is a combination of all this. It's not meant to be representative of one space. It's meant to be a hodgepodge of like Memphis, of Jackson, of Dallas, of all these cities along the whole Bible Belt. So that's why it's a fictitious place, and that's why it's called Hope. Chucalissa is Choctaw and means hope.
And because you see Autumn Night coming from Houston, I believe she's coming from Houston. So I lived in Houston for like several years. And I saw that she was coming from the storm. I was like, dang, this is good. It's just, everything about the show is just well done. Well done. Last thing you purchased.
What was the last thing I purchased?
Like last thing today.
I ain't shop. Oh, my Amazon order.
What you order?
I sent my mama some groceries so she can get some stuff in the pantry.
Be a good son. Look, you gotta be a good son out here.
Listen, you got to.
5. Is that 5? Wait, current TV obsession. What's your current TV obsession?
It's between. honestly, I'm still watching PValley to soak it in after the whole math of everything. But I'm also watching Lovecraft Country. I
Yes.
am watching This Much I Know. This Much I
Okay.
Know, with Mark Ruffalo on HBO. That's actually speaking to
I
me.
have to check that one out. I have to check that out. Nicco,
Yes,
I
baby.
love you. I
Me love
mean,
you too.
thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for your beautiful spirit. Thank you for, I pray before all of my interviews. I'm like, God bless both of us as we come together, And thank you. Thank you for just being you. I am riding for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for everybody Black, but I'm rooting for you. And I'm rooting for the show. So congratulations.
And I'm rooting for you too. Thank you. I'm rooting for you too. I'm rooting for the time when we are outside. And I am not about the BS. So if you hit me up, Ashley, and you say, well, don't get brand new, or don't, if you say that to me, I will know that you are not of the same cloth, because I'm speaking to you. I am telling you, when we are out of quarantine and whatever red carpets we are on, and moments that we are meant to have,
yes,
let's call on this, sister. Let's call on this moment for real, because
seriously,
you are
it's
needed.
a vibe. It's a
Yes,
vibe.
it is a vibe. And you are needed. You and all of my beautiful Black queens, you are needed. And I say rest well. That's why when I posted today, I just played that meditation, because I was like, we all going through so much.
So much.
So just breathe and love yourself. Know that you are enough right now.
Thank you so much, Nicco. And
You're
before
welcome.
I know I said before I let you go, how do you self-care? How are you taking time for yourself just to be soaking up everything that's happening and going on, the good and the bad? How do you self-care? Yes.
I have a little bell. That's so crazy, but I'm just telling you for the real. I have this little bell, and I ring my bell every morning to just remind me of an audible sound that Jesus is alive, and that I am not alone in this world, and it's not just me. So I meditate. Pray, and I take it easy. I don't
Yeah.
judge myself too much. It's a lot happening. Yeah. Get you some sage to clear it out. Keep the windows open. You know what I mean? Sweat it out. This can't stay here. It can't stay here.
You got to go. You gonna have to get on the out of here. Get on out.
That's right. So that's what I do. That's one of the things, honestly, that I do. That's really personal, but I'm sharing with you, all of the viewers, because I don't think even though it's personal, I don't think it has to be private. So take it.
Thank you so much for sharing with us, Nicco. We love you. Thank you so much, and I look forward to connecting with you outside in the real world.
Come on, in the real world.
Where is the buzz? You said was mine.
Where is the buzz?